As soon as the dawn had imposed flat tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico. People thought global economy is going to sink and they were cutting their bets. Well, what happened was within a couple of days, Mexico and Canada buckled under this pressure, agreed to Donald Trump to come to the negotiating table, and they have clamped down on immigration checks at their borders. China, on the other hand, has retaliated with its own trade war tactics with a bunch of tariffs on US exports, which are critical. Things like oil and natural gas, things like agricultural produce, on which some key elements of Trump's constituents, the rednecks down south, depend. Well, anyway, in a few more weeks, we will see that the two strongmen will sit down and thrash out a deal. And what this created was a small window of opportunity for people to buy things on the cheap. Anyway, that's behind us now. What we also don't realize today in the global geopolitical scenario is China packs as much heft as the United States, or probably more actually, in manufacturing, in materials, in metals, in minerals. China's tentacles are extremely, because it produces every commodity at least 4 to 8 times more than what the United States produce, even metals, everything critical. So its tentacles for all these raw materials spread across South America to Africa to every other country which desperately needs Chinese investment. You've heard of the Sri Lankas and Kenyas of this world, which have gone into a debt trap because they needed Chinese companies to execute infra for them. So all this said and done, there is no way that Donald Trump is going to plunge the world economy into a depression. They will hammer out a trade deal, and China has been preparing for this for a very long time. China has focused less on exports. It has built up alternate manufacturing bases. The China plus one philosophy is actually China plus Vietnam, China plus Cambodia, and so many other places. So they ship, Chinese factories ship goods from so many nations. It has also developed its own infrastructure, construction, consumption to such an extent that it is not as dependent on exports and tariff barriers as Donald Trump expects. So soon, both these guys will come to an understanding, probably live to cohabit. It's usually difficult in a bipolar world, but they will. And we also know that besides this, China has also in defense, in nuclear fusion, they're far ahead of most European nations, and in some fields, even ahead of the United States.